Welcome to my channel. If you are into stories about faith, love, and the common human condition, subscribe and turn on that notification bell.
What if I told you there was a man so strong that the entire world believed he had to be cheating because what he could do simply didn't seem human? Meet Samson Kingston, the undefeated heavyweight boxing champion of the world, a man whose punches seemed to carry the force of a wrecking ball, a fighter who knocked out opponents twice his size, a champion who shattered records, sold out arenas, and became one of the most famous athletes on the planet. Yet despite all his success, there was one question nobody could answer. How was he so strong? Sports analysts debated it. Scientists studied him. Fans argued endlessly online. Some called him a genetic miracle. Others called him the greatest fraud in sports history. And through it all, Samson never failed a single drug test. Not one. Still, the accusations never stopped. Because people will often question what they cannot explain.
I still don't understand how one man can hit this hard. Every doctor says he's clean. Every drug test says he's clean. But nobody in boxing history has ever displayed strength like this. And still, undefeated, the world heavyweight champion, Samson Kingston. Samson! Samson!
And Samson's story was only beginning. Long before the championship belts, before the fame, before the millions of dollars, there was a young boy with an extraordinary gift. As a teenager, Samson accidentally broke a heavy-duty boxing bag that trained professional athletes. Not because he was trying to show off. Actually, he was often embarrassed by his unusual strength and worked hard to hide it. One day, after a training session, his mother sat him down. Now, Miriam Kingston wasn't impressed by trophies. She wasn't impressed by fame. And she definitely wasn't impressed by hype. She was the kind of mother who believed character mattered more than talent. Looking into her son's eyes, she said something he would never forget. "Your strength is a gift from God." Samson asked the question any young person would ask.
Why me?
His mother smiled. "Not so you can become famous. Not so people can admire you. Not so you can feel important. But so you can become faithful." And then she gave him a warning. One that would follow him for the rest of his life. Never let pride destroy what purpose created. At the time, Samson didn't fully understand those words. But one day, he would. The hard way. As the years passed, Samson became unstoppable. Lightweight, middleweight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, it didn't matter. Every division he entered eventually belonged to him. Crowds packed arenas just to watch him fight. Sponsors lined up to work with him. Children wore his shirts. Athletes studied his training routines. And the victories kept coming. One after another, after another, after another. The undefeated champion, the people's hero, the face of boxing. Yet despite all the fame, Samson remained grounded. Before every fight, he prayed. After every victory, he thanked God. And whenever reporters asked about his strength, he never took the credit for himself, which only made people more curious. What was his secret? What made him different? Nobody knew. And that mystery would eventually attract the wrong person. Before becoming heavyweight champion, while in college, Samson met Delilah Monroe, or as her friends called her, Deli. Beautiful, confident, intelligent. The kind of woman who could walk into a room and instantly command attention.
Oh, sorry, but...
You hit people for a living, don't you?
Only professionally.
Their first meeting was almost comical. Not exactly the smooth introduction of a future champion. But somehow, it worked. They laughed, they talked, and before long, they were spending more and more time together. For the first time in years, Samson allowed someone into his personal world, and that would become his greatest vulnerability. While Samson was falling in love, Victor Drake watched him, his biggest rival, a boxer with tremendous talent and even greater jealousy. Victor had spent years chasing Samson's success, years trying to defeat him, years living in his shadow. And he hated every second of it. Because every time he stepped into the spotlight, Samson somehow stood brighter.
Nobody beats me forever.
A corrupt boxing promoter leans forward.
Then stop fighting him in the ring. Break him outside of it.
Victor looks thoughtful. Eventually, Victor reached a dangerous conclusion. And that's when Deli became part of the plan. As weeks turned into months, Samson and Deli grew closer. They studied together, dreamed together, planned a future together. She met his family. She sat beside him in church. She became part of his life. And little by little, Samson lowered his guard. Because that's what trust does. It opens doors. And unfortunately, sometimes it opens the wrong ones. There was only one problem. The entire relationship had started with a lie.
Get close to him. Find out what makes him unbeatable.
You really think he's hiding something?
Nobody is born with such strength. The crazy part is, I think he is even stronger than he lets on.
He slides money across the table.
Find the secret.
It started as a lie. A lie Deli thought she could control. A lie that blurred into something messy and very complicated. Mothers notice things, sometimes before anyone else. And Miriam noticed something. She couldn't explain it, couldn't prove it, but something about Deli didn't sit right with her spirit. One evening, she pulled Samson aside, quietly, privately, and she warned him, "Be careful." Samson laughed it off, like many people do when receiving wise advice they don't want to hear.
You don't trust anyone.
I trust God. He believed love had finally found him, but Miriam wasn't convinced. The enemy rarely arrives looking dangerous. Powerful words. Words Samson ignored. And sadly, that decision would cost him dearly. One rainy evening, Deli asked the question everyone wanted answered. Tell me something.
What?
What makes you so strong?
Hard work.
No, really. Everybody wants to know.
Maybe some things are private.
You don't trust me? I thought we were building a future together. There shouldn't be secrets.
My mother always believed God gave me this strength for a reason.
That's beautiful.
She made me promise never to corrupt it. Never drugs. Never shortcuts. Never compromise who I am.
And you've never broken that promise?
Never.
For Deli, that should have been enough. But behind her smile, a battle was raging. Because Victor was demanding answers. And she was running out of time. What happened next would change everything. Victor gave Deli an impossible choice. Help destroy Samson? Or watch her own life collapse? Fear took over. And fear has a way of convincing people to do things they never imagined possible. He doesn't use anything.
Then make him.
She looks horrified. No! Victor leans in coldly.
You think you're innocent now?
He shows photos of their secret meetings.
When this goes public, your life is finished too. Finish the job.
On the night before one of the biggest fights of Samson's career, Deli handed him a recovery drink. He trusted her completely. Why wouldn't he? She was the woman he loved, the woman he planned to build a future with. Without hesitation, he drank it.
Quick! Call an ambulance!
The announcement hit the sports world like an earthquake. Samson Kingston had tested positive for illegal performance-enhancing drugs. The headlines exploded. The internet erupted. Critics felt vindicated, and supporters were stunned. For years, people had accused him of cheating. Now they believed they finally had proof. No one wanted to hear explanations. No one wanted to hear his side. The verdict had already been delivered. Guilty. His titles disappeared. His endorsements vanished. His reputation collapsed. And just like that, the world's champion became the world's biggest disgrace.
Hi there. Thank you for staying with the story to the end. And remember to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a story.